So the transfer portal giveth and the transfer portal taketh away. And this one was kind of expected in a way. If you'd been listening to me for a while, I made mention that there was a possibility that this would happen. I didn't anticipate a transfer this early, but it makes sense because today is the official day of the portal. A lot of big names are going in there. And if you want to have the opportunity to get picked up somewhere, probably should go in there, right? So just was announced, and this is going to be a thank you, of course, as you saw in the thumbnail. Dillon Gabriel entered the transfer portal. He'll have one more year of eligibility. It seems to be undecided if he's going to play in the bowl game, but I'm going to be honest, I don't see him playing. I sense he may end up wherever he's going to go. So the era of Jackson Arnold begins. So let's dive into Dillon Gabriel, what he's done here for Oklahoma, and talk about it. But before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank y'all for pulling up to the channel. Let's look at these numbers. Let's look at everything about Dillon Gabriel and why we should be really appreciating this dude. He's done some stuff here at Oklahoma in his 2 years, and it's really hard to complain when the man shows up the way he does, right? All right, check this out. Let's talk about some numbers that DG provided us. So numbers-wise, Dillon Gabriel comes in here. He threw for 6,828 yards, 9 yards a pass, with 55 touchdowns and 12 picks. The beauty of Dillon Gabriel and what he put out there is that is number 6 in yards and number 5 in touchdowns on the passing side. So he put up some really good numbers, and he finished his career here with 688 rushing yards. And y'all know with this season, he was out there doing it. Probably hit best season of his career. He went out there and threw for 3,660 yards. So he's just about, 7 yards more than he did his freshman year. But he added 30 touchdowns, 6 picks, and he rushed for 373 yards. So he got out there and gave y'all 4,000 yards of offense. And then, of course, that iconic performance against Texas, where he decided that, yep, I'm going to put these boys on my back and I'm going to make it happen. He gave us in that game 285 in passing with a touchdown, and then he rushed for 113 and a touchdown, which I believe is the most from a quarterback as far as passing and rushing against Texas. No one's given us over 250 yards and 100 yards rushing, 250 yards passing and 100 yards rushing in that game. So he cemented himself as a legendary quarterback for Oklahoma. Unfortunately, our OC did not want him to throw the ball against Kansas in bad weather and, ruined his opportunity at Heisman. But we won't go too far into that. But Dillon ends his career as a legendary quarterback here at Oklahoma. And I mean, you can say what you want to say about him, man. He finished his career with 14,865 passing yards. Like, he's played a lot of good football. And so somebody's going to pick up a good one for this final year, for this quote unquote COVID year that he still has on his docket, because, man, I appreciate the leadership from him. I appreciate his moxie, as they call it, and just his grind, his ability to work hard. And hell, he even said, thank you to OU Twitter for holding me accountable. Y'all just made me a better man. That was one quote from him. And I got to say, it's pretty darn legendary that he would say that, right? So we got a quarterback that went out there, gave us blood, sweat, tears, his heart, hustled his butt off, and now he's going to find another place. Now, location-wise is a good question. I'm not sure what it looks like for him. I'm hearing Oregon has some interest. I've heard Washington, going from lefty to lefty was always probably a plus for them. Everyone's anticipating Mississippi State, him following Jeff Lebby. I don't know if he'll actually follow Lebby. That's a very good question. It's not something that I anticipate will possibly happen. But the list is long of schools that's going to show some interest in Gabriel. He's a veteran quarterback. He knows how to ball. He gave us 8 touchdowns against West Virginia, who actually is a pretty solid team. They finished the year 8-4. So, I mean, can't call it, right? And he balls out when you need him to, right? If you give him the opportunity to put the team on his back, he's going to do it. And his numbers have shown, his ability to play has shown. It saddens me that he did leave now. I was really hoping, since he came back from that neck injury, which come to find out it was a neck strain. It wasn't a concussion, thank goodness. And that's why he ended up playing the last game of the season against TCU. So my anticipation is, since he played in that, I thought that he would end up playing in the bowl game. But there is a good chance that it is going to be the new era of Sooner civilization with Jackson Arnold taking the helm and chunking that thing for us. So I wanted to do this celebratory video for Dillon Gabriel, show some footage, show some thank yous from him. Hop in the comments, let your boy know what your thoughts. How y'all feel about DG and what he provided for us. Say your thank yous, right? We didn't run him off. You can tell that he wanted the opportunity to go start somewhere, and he knew, this year was Jackson Arnold's year. He's been working closely with them. It's like, little brother to him. They've been taking care of J.A., and I'm assuming that he's like, yep, this is the Arnold era. We'll let him do his thing, and I will go, either pursue other opportunities. Heck, he may actually get a decent grade later if other quarterbacks don't go into the draft and decide that he wants to go ahead and play. But I think that he's NFL caliber, really solid backup. He could probably, rotate around the NFL for the next 4 or 5 years as a backup. But NIL wise, he probably will make more money in college than he would be in the NFL in a shorter period of time, that is. Probably make more money next season than he would in the NFL. But then he decides to go to NFL. He'll probably make some decent checks as a backup. And, he may float around for a few years. Miami could use a backup that's left-handed and, plays similar to their current starting guy. So I could see him being behind Tua. It would make sense. So I'm sad that he's gone. I understand. And, that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles. But we also had another transfer that just hit. Nate Anderson, the offensive lineman, has decided to hit the portal. And kind of surprised me at the same time as I kind of get it. He'll have 2 years left of eligibility. He was a former defensive end. And, yeah, it makes sense that he was going to go and make the portal. So Dillon Gabriel's out. Nate Anderson has hit that portal. We're going to hop in the comments. Let me know. Show some love. DG, do what y'all do best. If you made it this far, you like the content, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We'll be talking transfer portal the next week because there's a lot of players that we're targeting. There's a lot of players that we're going to see some more leave. So don't be surprised if these ain't the only ones, right? So let's chop it up later. And, yeah, y'all have a good one. Peace.